What's going on YouTube? This is Juan here. You can see my name and see my channel name. You should know who I am. I've tried many attempts to start a YouTube video, YouTube channel. Had many videos made, but it's just I won't say it's confidence issues I had, but it's just I just didn't feel it's not me feeling uncomfortable with my face being on the internet. It's just like I just didn't really. I think the video I just didn't like the video overall, but this one probably be my first actual upload. I have a couple of uploads on this channel, and it's just mainly just it's just basketball stuff. This IRL, but I don't count those as videos. But today I want to talk about the 2020 season, just basically last season as a whole, and how obviously it was historic, but not only was it historic, it was just it's crazy. But I mainly just want to go into the restart or the NBA bubble as people call it. But I'm gonna go into 2020 season just briefly. I'll try to go in really briefly, if not, my bad. But the 2020 season, man, it was interesting from the jump, man. People were very hyped for it. People were hyped for Steph having to basically I won't say carry, but Steph having to go in his bag. Kind of like what he did this season. And also with the Lakers, having the dynamic duo, not just the Lakers, just the LA teams. Kawhi coming off a championship against Toronto. Basically, just a lot of storylines coming into this season. And the season was, I won't say, I would say the season was holding up its end a bargain. Also, Russell Westbrook going to the Rockets. There's a bunch of movement this season. It was very interesting. But and there were like many storylines. Luca going off, the Mavericks having a historic offense, as well as LeBron and AD, the duo of them going well. Kawhi and PG. That whole team they was talking all that mess. All that this very hype. New just breathing new life into the Clippers as an organization, as a team. But and just before the season capped off, it was not capped off. Excuse me. Before the season was interrupted, um, there were some great games. I can't think of many off the top because that was like a year ago, but some I can remember of is the Christmas Day games. As a Warriors fan, I remember us knocking off Houston and Golden State. Draymond Green going off. Glenn Robinson, I believe his name is, was going off. Damian Lee, D'Lo when he was on the team. But yeah, just a lot of storylines. Just Christmas Day games with LA and the LA teams and all that. As well as that last game before one of the last games before the restart occurred or before the season shut down. The Clippers and the Lakers. That was a great showdown between them two. And LeBron had a moment where he had to remind people who he was. As well as that Jason Tatum coming out as like a superstar in a way. Um, in the beginning of the year, he was okay. He was somewhat 2019 s, but then it was kind of that middle point of the season where he really took off and was having amazing games, particularly against the Clippers and Lakers. And that game between those two were really special because that was the game before Kobe Bryant Memorial. Never thought I'd be saying those words, but I guess I am. Rest in paradise to Gianna, Kobe, rest of those passages on that flight. But getting into that, you had 2020. Even from the jump, me personally, my personal life, it wasn't the best. It was just school stuff as well. It didn't really go off to the best of what I thought it would be. And then January 26th, I believe the date is. If not, I feel terrible for getting the date wrong, but it's a date that lived in infamy. Um, Ironically, here's the story real quick. So basically, this is the day of the incident with Kobe Bryant and the rest of the passengers, his daughter. I was looking at a All the Smoke podcast with Kobe Bryant on the show, and he would talk about how I think Matt Barnes brought up how he would just shoot with his left hand because his shooting hand, I don't know if it was left hand or not, but his dominant hand was hurt. He had to wear cast. He would just try shooting with his opposite hand because he said he was just trying to like get it in, get the work in, And I remember that, and I was just went outside and just try to just try to emulate it a little bit, just playing around and shooting around, because I just remember that moment. It's kind of ironic that day, but it happened while I was in church, honestly, on their time, and I believe my mom knew about it, but she didn't really knew, so she didn't tell me. And I'm looking at the Pro Bowl. I come back inside from I came back inside from shooting the basketball. And I remember that day like vividly, man. I was looking at the Pro Bowl, and ABC came on. ABC, ESPN, Disney, that whole spill. And I was like wondering like why is ABC on ESPN? And I was this close to changing the channel because if it was something like irrelevant, I was just. But then I looked at it and it said Kobe Bryant died. I'm like, wait, what? I was processing that time. I was thinking like, oh, he must have just gotten hurt. But no, he died. I told my mom about it, and I was just shook that whole day. I couldn't sleep that night. I just really couldn't take all the memorials, man. It was heartbreaking. And the tributes were amazing, man. 24-second violations, the 8-second violations and all that. Teams changing their numbers for that specific moment and day. It was very heartwarming. And again, I'll say rest in paradise to everyone involved in that accident, especially Kobe Bryant and Gianna Bryant. She's only a year younger than me, or 2 years younger than me. It was heartbreaking to see, and we're finally seeing Kobe, open up in a way, to being a great father, husband. But anyway, off that, then you have like I said, you have the Lakers game between the Clippers, the Boston Celtics versus the Lakers. That game before Kobe Memorial, and then you have March 11, 2020. Another day that will live infamy in just world history. To be honest with you, um, Oklahoma City versus the Utah Jazz. Game is just getting ready to tip off, but doctors restaurant or I don't know if it was doctors. This important men in suits rushed onto the court, talked to officials, and everybody just walked off. And ever since that day, it's just never been the same. Turns out Rudy Gobert test positive for COVID. So Donovan Mitchell the next day, and they just had to shut the league down. And it was cutting back and forth between the game of between Dallas and Denver. I still remember this game, man. Dallas and Denver was playing. Boban was having an amazing game because I think I think they were rushing somebody or something. They didn't have enough players, so they had to roll him out. He was going off, and turned out that would be the last game that we would see for about April, May, June, July, for about 4 months. So, that was a good move I went on that moment. But it was another game scheduled afterwards with Sacramento and New Orleans. But they didn't feel comfortable going out on the court because I think an official was just reffing the game with Rudy Gobert. They were supposed to ref that game. But anyway, that game got canceled and we didn't have basketball for about 4 months. And then we went to quarantine, man. Quarantine. I might come off as weird for saying this, but it was definitely interesting in a fun way, if that makes any sense. The reason I say it's interesting in a fun way is because it was also bad too. We had to wear masks, everything was shut down, but you just had a new outlook on life, You had to do certain things differently. And I'm not saying the whole quarantine was fun, but the first couple months of it, you having these new challenges. TikTok really popped off, having these new challenges, and you just really had to navigate through like a different way. And people were in high spirits, or most people try to keep people in high spirits with certain things going on. NBA had not NBA, well ESPN had a horse competition that was looking terrible, but it was the thought to count. Trying to keep the people engaged. Sorry if I keep trying to move my camera a certain way. I don't want the light to block my whole face over video, but if I can, I'll just stop messing with it. Fast forward to August, we have the NBA restart, aka the bubble. And just recently, I've been like just going back like to it because I was feeling nostalgic and wanting to look at look at how it really was a couple months ago. Just like it was only like in a couple months. It's gonna be a year since that happened, man. I was thinking at the first games. I remember the Jazz and the Pelicans were playing. That was the first game. You know, just bringing back nostalgia. Also, I can't believe I missed this. I'm a big advocate of this. You had George Floyd murder, the George Floyd murder. That was also a pivotal part in world history. The world's largest protest ever. Again, rest in peace to George Floyd. And I don't like when people call him a sacrifice. You know, he didn't willingly sacrifice his life for the greater good. I don't think you would if you were in that situation. But I guess I get where they're coming from with that. But you know, that was a whole pivotal part in the NBA coming back too. You know, there was a debate of whether players should come back or just stay home or do whatever just to not play basketball. And that will come up later on in this kind of storytelling I'm telling you about. It's not really a story time, but it's definitely a pivotal part in this whole bubble situation. But anyway, back to the NBA bubble. The NBA players started kneeling. There were Black Lives Matter plastered everywhere. The initiative of that was like spilled all throughout the NBA bubble, at least for the first couple of weeks of it. You know, you started to have vlogs come out. You know, getting back to happier side of things. You started to have NBA players vlog. That was very interesting, man. It just bring you back to like I won't say the good old days, but it's so like nostalgic for me, man. So I'm sorry if I'm kind of jittery about it, but you know. Also, besides the Utah Jazz and Pelicans game, you have the Los Angeles Lakers Clippers game. They were supposed to play 4 times, I believe, but one of the games either got canceled or rescheduled because of the whole Kobe situation. But yeah, that was very interesting, like seeing things from a new outlook. After the first couple of weeks, everything started to look like a regular NBA game. But the first couple of weeks of that of the bubble were very fun and interesting. Seeing what NBA players were eating and all that, and they just like it's just like it was crazy seeing this come into fruition, bro. Like they were talking about for months and months, and then finally it like you see everything come into like his plans and all that, but also getting back to the bubble, you go into the playoffs. You also have the playing tournament that's also new to this season as well. I almost forgot about that. You have the playing tournament, which was great last year. I think the rules should apply how it did in the NBA bubble than what it was, this year. My Dubs got screwed out of it. But I know it. All jokes aside, shout out to the Grizzlies for making the playoffs. They deserved it. Shout out to Ja Morant, SC boy, South Carolina boy. But anyway, and Zion. But anyway, yeah, that playing situation was fun. Seeing Dame carry the Blazers. CJ pitched in too, Melo did as well. But just seeing that was kind of great, and they were getting tested every single step of the way. It started to overrate the Blazers a little bit, in my opinion, but that's neither here or there. And but anyway, getting to the playoffs, you have like box standard Lakers won, Clippers too, but you also someone had an upset, some upsets in a way. Um, oh no, am I still recording? Oh my god, damn, that's not recording. Oh my god, bro. Oh my god, I'm not editing this up. This is going up. Wow, this video is long. But anyway, you go into the playoffs. You have Luka versus the Clippers.